And welcome back, viewers, to sunny Brisbane. We are at the Yeronga Football Club, and we're just at the half-time interval. And we're just looking at a few of the questions that we've had coming through the live feed, and we had a question around the structure of the game and the 10-minute quarters that we run here at the All-Australian demo games. Scotty, do you want to maybe give a bit of insight into why we run with the 10-minute quarters?
Yeah, so as we've talked about, the Inclusion All-Australian squad are the 26 best players from this year's National Inclusion Carnival. And the format of the carnival is a Lightning Premiership for 2 days, which is pretty short and sharp. It's 7-minute halves for those matches to make sure every state has the opportunity to play each other over the course of those first 2 days. And then we move into our divisional games and finals, which are a 10-minute quarter setup. And the reason for that being players play a lot of footy over the course of the week, and it's a big toll on the players. So it is a big week, and that format we feel is the most appropriate to get through all those games of footy. And I guess this being the extension of the carnival with the Inclusion All-Australian squad, keeping that format pretty consistent for the players and everyone involved. So I think it's a great showcase, and as we said, the National Inclusion Carnival was a big week, and we had some equally exciting and fast-moving footy where Northern Territory won their first national championship, defeating Vic Metro in the grand final, who had won the past 4, I believe.
Yeah, exactly right. And the other thing to note as well, which you may notice, is it's not 18 v 18 players. We have 12 v 12, and I guess the reason why that is that we want to showcase the football. We don't want to bog it down into zones. We just want to let the guys just play football, and reducing numbers on the field allows, I guess, the inclusion games to be the best that they can be. So, and I think the product's spot on. I think what we've seen over the last couple of days is that it's free flowing. There's a lot of players that can get free and show off their craft. So that's a quick snapshot, guys, of what you may see. That's a bit different to what you may see at the AFL or the AFLW. But yeah, if you have any more questions, please feel free to send them through, and we can answer your questions as the game goes on. But we've got a cracking second half here, Scotty. Pretty excited to see what happens next. We have the Kangaroos 4-3-27 to the Emus 3-3-21. So what messages do you think Nick Eads would have given the boys, Scotty?
Well, I think although we said winning isn't the most important thing over these games in the last couple of days, I think Nick would just have continued to encourage the players to take the game on. Like we saw yesterday, the Emus had a lot of play, but just couldn't translate that into scoring opportunities and goals. So I think the message from Nick Eads would have been just continue to do what you do best, boys, and play the game in the right spirit, take it on, and back yourselves in. And I think if they do that, we'll not only have a really good spectacle here, but it'll be a nice close match, hopefully down to the wire.
And I think for the Kangaroos, I think it's a bit more tussock jumper, the way they keep switching that ball. They've been switching it all game, so let's see if we see that go again. As the ball goes up and Dave Hallows gets a big run up, but unfortunately falls short with the bounce. And Mayo comes out of the guts and backs himself, and Apuatimi to his teammate again. Arches it back. Look at those legs going, pumps it long.
The Bunana into the forward line. Unorthodox, but it might just pay off yet. So back, Baker tries to get the hands over the top, and I did notice there at that centre bounce that Emus have made a few changes. Big Damo Clark, Dylan Pace, who's having a strong game, and the man who's been doing his best work at half back over the last couple of days, Byron Mayo, was also in at that centre stoppage. So
they got the big guns in.
Finally, some moves from the coach there, Nick Eads, and hopefully they translate into some strong play for the Emus.
Well, it's all or nothing for him, isn't it? It's either go home with no win next to his name, or try square it up. So there's been, I think they've discussed over the game that the margin from last game will come into play, which I believe was an 8-point win to Kangaroos. Yep. So I think depending on what the win comes to here. So
Craig Blashki Jr. is lining up for goals. We call him the human schnitzel. What has he got for us here? He kicks long and straight.
Great looking
and he
kick.
steered it through. So the schnitzel has put one through for the Kangaroos. A perfect start to this third term for them. They move ahead now to 5 goals, 3, 33. to the Emus trailing 3 goals, 3-21, as we see Nick Eads making his way over to the Kangaroos bench.
He's not conceding, is he?
There's a little bit of conversation happening between the two coaches.
And again, it's that 2-goal buffer that we've seen over the course of the game. The Emus just can't edge their way forward, but it is the premiership quarter, so let's see if they might make a move.
The ball goes up now, and Shubalat taps it down to that man Damo Clark, who's made his way into the centre. The ball bobbling around. Mayo taps it forward now into a little bit of space. It evades Dole. As Cannon pumps it inside forward 50, who can get there? Our man Doki couldn't quite reel it in, but Alan Meeklem, some good play in defence.
Cookie's out on the wing here. If they can wheel in, Apuatimi, he'll mark this. Yeah, he's got great hands, and he'll just slow it down and get a bit of composure amongst the team.
So the Emus have good numbers back. They've set up well.
Here we go. He's that
Is
set
that
play.
that's a Tussock jumper?
That is a Tussock jumper to Dolly.
So the switcher play to Dole. He continues to go out wide. Steve Reeves pretty happy with his Tussock jumper play there, but the ball just rolls out of bounds, and the umpire will ball it up. So Shubalat approaches.
If they can get out here, they've got pace free at half forward. No one on him. They're rolling the dice here as the ball goes up.
Timmy just starts to creep goal side, and there's a couple more Kangaroos forward, so maybe the Emus have pushed a few numbers up towards the play to try and get an advantage, but I mean, we see Damo Clark at centre half forward by himself. Might want to pick him up. As Pace extracts it from the stoppage, gets it over to Mayo. Can he break the Travis Baxter tackle? No, he can't.
Was that Baxter? Is that an
Good
amazing
Donagi
game?
from Reece Baker.
The ball trickles over again, so we're in a bit of a lull here at the last minute. Oh, free kick's been pulled out here.
So Hot Sauce with the ball. He kicks forward. Doki couldn't quite get it at the back, but it fumbles around. And who's that? Knight Nielsen keeps it in front and charges away from defence. Goes out wide, perhaps too wide, as it just goes over the boundary in front of Dylan Evans.
And another stoppage in play here.
So it's a third quarter. We're approaching the 4-minute mark. The Kangaroos have got it back to that 2-goal margin. And as we said, perhaps the Emus pushing a few numbers up the field.
And the banter continues down here. Hayden from WA doesn't like the hard tag that's been pulled on. I'm not sure what he's going on about. He's a bit disgruntled.
He's one of the grumpiest runners I've seen in a
He
while.
is, and his team's up by 2 goals. He just needs to chill out. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Dolly picks it up at half back.
Goes forward.
Davey
Brad
Alford
Lawrence comes forward, and a great contest.
The
Dave
toughest
Alford
man.
with some courage going back with the flight.
And Lawrence just got a bit worried by Puatumi's pace there.
Professional free kick perhaps, just to slow down the play. Can he get it over the top? Tyson Worthington, he stretches high and he reels in that intercept mark.
So he's just summing up his options here. He's got on the broadcast side, man out in Evans, the Queenslander, takes a lovely chest mark.
So pace is free if he gets it up the line to him. Looks inboard. So some attacking play there to look towards the centre. Is it going to pay off? Hunter keeps it in front well.
Him and Snitz picks it up to Dolly. He'll wheel onto that left peg, put it to the hot spot. Here comes Davey Alford. Taps it down to the crummer.
Cookie.
Oh,
great
could have
tackle
been on the
there.
man there.
A goal-saving tackle from Dylan Evans.
And Worthington, being composed down back there, just uses agility and gets out of trouble and gets it out of the danger area.
And look at that clearing kick. And a great contest. Hallows coming in late. And it was Hayden Cannon. Courageous stuff from him. As Hallows follows up for the big man, he's got a great work rate.
Here's pace. Over to Mayo.
Hands off to Mayo, who had some good voice and some run from behind. Reeves is going to let it go over the
Man
top.
over here, if they can work it
Doki
out.
collects.
Our
What does
boy
the big
Doki
man have for
finish
us?
Off, come around.
Yeah, he stuck it in.
They needed that.
Andrew Doki, the South Australian, just when they needed him, he answers. So
The big Doke. There you go. That's
reduces the margin now. The Emus getting one back. The Kangaroos still leading the way though. 5 goals, 3-33 to the Emus on the back of that Doki goal. 4 goals, 3-27.
So this has been the challenge for the Emus. They keep getting that 2-goal buffer down to 1 goal. They just haven't been able to get this next goal to bring it square.
And a few more changes for the Emus. We've now got Ashworth, Pace and Mayo. So Ashworth was great yesterday in the game, and I think his hardness around the ball could help get a few more contested or centre clearances and get the ball moving forward for the Emu. So the ball goes up again. Big jump from Hallows, but it's Schuberlat starting to assert himself in the ruck. Pace gets it forward. The ball's at half forward now. Hayden Cannon. He collects.
After getting a big hit from before on the left peg, and it's out on the full. But here we go, they're starting to press now, Scotty, and I don't know, maybe the Kangaroos are starting to tire a bit. The legs, it's been a big week. Let's see what they've got left in store for the rest of the game.
So Dole, he kicks long. I don't think anyone's expecting it on that far side.
Watch the pace, watch him burn him if he can get it. There we go.
Viewer Timmy, and he puts the ball and goes. So maximum of 2 bounces for the players here, part of our modified rules in this format, which makes...
And Lawrence head over the ball like he always does. Hand pass over to Mayo, controls it nicely.
Good balance.
Tries to go back to Lawrence. Lawrence in the true centre of the ground. Gets it on his right peg, true half forward. And Pace, who's had a great third quarter once again.
I don't think Pace has had an opponent for at least half an hour.
Well worked
Gets
here,
the ball
Gudgeon.
forward. Great teamwork from the Emus. Gudgeon, what can he do? He snaps. And great pressure from the Kangaroos just to put him...
Great play there by Gudgeon. Just couldn't finish it
Just
off.
to put him off at the last second there. Kangaroos, it's a fast brand of footy at the moment. There's no stopping.
Harry Hunter takes a lovely mark up above.
And the ball over the top now to the wing, and it's the Kangaroos with the numbers.
The old human snitch gets it forward 50. There's a man out here.
So 2-on-1, what can Worthington do here? Can he hold it up? The ball comes free from Alford. Baker snaps.
It's a minor score.
And the umpire signals a point. So the players just take a breather at the 8-minute and 34-second mark of this third quarter. The margin 6 points.
There's enough time for a goal here, Scott. If they can get it down.
So a short kick to the pocket. Worthington just assesses his option. He's got a man on long in Hayden Cannon. Perhaps a bit too far.
Pace is calling for it.
Someone take a hanger. Oh, pretty close to a strong mark there from Cannon, but Baxter waits down. Lawrence goes out in mid-air, but misses the ball. Gives Baker an opportunity at the back, but Worthington again. So he was further up the ground yesterday, but doing some great work deep in defence today, Tyson Worthington.
So in the final minute of the third quarter, the Emus do not want to concede here. I think they just take some time off the clock. I don't think they've got enough time to get it to the other end. There's a little chopoke here, and Mayo sells some candy and pumps it to the far wing.
So 30 seconds left in this quarter. Can the Emus keep it in and go forward?
He's Gudgeon, one of the fastest men in their team.
Oh, clever tap from
plays
Gudgeon.
A little tunnel ball over the
Evans,
top.
handball over the top to Clark. 15 seconds left now as Damo Clark takes one bounce. He goes long. Is it long enough?
Oh, and that's
It was long enough, but it was a bit too wide.
Fortunately, the wind grabbed the ball there, and that might do us for the third quarter.
As we tick over the 10-minute mark. Now I think our timekeeper Chris.
I think Chris Hunt's been having a little bit of a tea party in there. He's.
Might just have to bang on the box next door because he might have been.
I think he's
It's
having.
a lovely afternoon. He might be having a snooze in there.
It's been a big week for the big fella, and maybe he's just took his eye off the clock for a bit. But we have to take the opportunity to thank Chris Hunt, who is our timekeeper, who really played a massive role to get the All-Australian camp up and running and to Brisbane. So I think from the AFL, we like to take the opportunity to thank Chris Hunt. And yeah, again, can't thank him. I'm sure on behalf of all the boys as well, they would like to thank the work that he's done and the atmosphere and the banter that he's brought to the team. So Chris, thank you again for the role that you've played and AFL Queensland to have us here this week. We'll take a quick break and we'll come home and bring it home, for the last quarter.